Hello. This video will show you how to solve a system of equation by substitution, kind of the basic level. I call this basic because when you're given the problem and you see that one of the equations already has an isolated variable or a variable that's all by itself, this is a big clue that substitution is a good method to use to solve. So remember, when you're solving a system of equations, you're looking to see if there is a point of intersection between the lines. So an x-y coordinate that makes both of the equations true. In this example, y equals 3x minus 5 is our first equation, and 4x minus 3y equals negative 35 is the second equation. And I can see right away that this equation already has the y isolated. The y is all by itself. What this equation is saying is y is the same as, or y equals, so y is the same as this whole thing, 3x minus 5. So y is the same as 3x minus 5. What this means is I can put 3x minus 5 in parentheses wherever I see a y in the second equation. So I'm going to rewrite my second equation, 4x minus 3y equals negative 35. And here's I'm going to circle the y, because instead of writing a y, I am going to put in the 3x minus 5. This is what that looks like. So the 4x I did not change. The negative 3 is still there. It's very important to have that sign with the number. But instead of y, I'm going to put the parentheses 3x minus 5, because this equation tells me that y is the same as 3x minus 5. I did not change the equal, and the other side I'm not doing anything to, so it just stays negative 35. Now I always like to draw a line where my equal sign is to keep track of the two sides. And now I need to go about making this what looks kind of complicated into a simpler problem. So I can see right away that I have a distributive property. Okay? And I'm going to make a little box here so I don't mess up my signs. Some people are good and can just do the rainbow method now to distribute this, but just to be sure and make sure I don't mess up my sign, this is a negative 3 that is outside the box, and then inside the parentheses I have 3x and a negative 5, because the sign always goes with the number. So I'm going to do a little side work here. Negative 3 times 3x is going to be a negative 9x. Negative 3 times negative 5 is going to be positive 15. So again, I have used the distributive property to get rid of these parentheses. I did not change the 4x, so that is still here hanging around. And instead of writing this with parentheses, I'm going to write what I found with the distributive property. 4x minus 9x plus 15 is equal to negative 35. Now, I look on either side of the equation to see if I can simplify anything, and I notice that I have an x here and x here, so these two things could be combined. 4x minus 9x will give me a negative 5x plus 15. I cannot combine them because they are not a like term. One has a variable x and the other one doesn't, is equal to negative 35. Now, I want to solve this for x. I want to find out what my x is. So to do that, I'm going to see that I'm adding 15. So in order to get that away from my x, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to subtract 15 here and subtract. If I do something to one side, I have to do it to the other, so subtract 15 there. All right, I end up with, I didn't change my negative 5x, so that is still here. Plus 15 minus 15 cancels out or gives me 0. I don't need to write it because it's not there, it's 0. And that's going to be equal to the other side. I have negative 35 minus 15, which is going to be negative 50. All right. So again, I want to get the x by itself. So I'm multiplying by a negative 5. I must divide by negative 5. If I divide by -5 on this side, I have to divide by -5 on that side. These cancel, and I get x equals, a negative divided by a negative is going to make it positive, and 50 divided by 5 is 10, so x equals 10. So right away, I do know for my solution, I'm believing that right now the x coordinate is going to be 10, but I still need to find out what my y coordinate is. So since I believe that x is 10, I can take that and substitute it into the first equation. So instead of writing let's see, I write y equals 3x minus 5. Okay. And instead of writing an x, I know that x is the same as 10. So I can put y equals 3 times 10 minus 5. I get y equals 30 minus 5, which would give me y equals 25. So my solution, I believe, is 10, 25. Check out the other video on this page, how to check if your solution is correct, to make sure that you never get one of these problems wrong. Thank you.